Hello, welcome to the well, the week of June 26th. Maria from Bloom, Angela from Grounded Dreamers. So let's all take a moment to breathe. Close your eyes and calling in golden light down through your crown. And just letting that golden light run down the front of your spine, making its way into your root chakra. And just allowing yourself to root down into the earth from your root chakra, all the way down through the earth, connecting with the center of the earth, grounding, and taking a moment to express gratitude. What about your life right now are you feeling grateful for? And just take a moment to anchor that inside. Maybe even write down a few gratitudes. And from a place of gratitude, let's open up into the reading for this week.
It's a good place to open from, place of gratitude.
Mm.
We're given the opportunity this week to reflect on and expand and deepen our connections, our friendships, our relationships, family, loved ones, new relationships, increasing our social life. I got Ivy. This is that, just like the ivy is going to grow and spread out and cling to different things and really get your energies out there. And, if you can think of a particular relationship that needs healing, or maybe it's between, two groups of people, or this side of the family and that side of, there's a lot of that happens in a lot of our experience, or it could be just one of your connections that you want to deepen and heal.
It can be a part of ourselves too.
Definitely this could happen within you. Yeah, for sure. I pulled a time for healing. This is just reminding us to focus on the healing and not on the wound. Right? We can be wounded and have feelings about that and feel pain, but if we stay there and we don't decide to take action and move forward toward the healing, then we're only harming ourselves, right? That's what the concept of forgiveness is all about. It's taking the burden off of your own heart and your own being and lightening that energy within you. I got friendliness. This is perfect for this spread because it's reminding us to stay in our own sovereignty as we connect with others. There isn't a reason that we can't do both, right? These two trees are rooted deeply into each other, into themselves, right? We have the pink side and the yellow side, and they're each very firmly and vividly themselves and strong, and the roots go all the way down. Where they connect, there's some orange, there's some blend, there's some, sharing, but it's not to the point where one is overtaking the other. So, and this could also be within you as well, between you and your inner being, or you and the collective, and just making sure that your own energy is rooted firmly, and you're not giving too much of it away, or there's no imbalance there. I got look deeper. So this is those relationships that we might want to deepen, that we might want to, create a more solid foundation for, or move to a higher level, or, that kind of a, just a more, seeking more closeness with others. And then I pulled We Are the World, which all these cards are like talking about connection and friendship, and it's funny.
And that came through last weekend too, or
this
last
one did. I thought so, yeah. And that's another reminder, and we talked about it last week too, to remind us of the collective too. We have self, family, community, society, the planet, the universe, right? All of it, and it emanates out. And it starts with the self. So making sure that you're open to knowing that the support is there, whether it's seen or unseen, whether it's energetic support or physical support, it's always there for you to tap into. And that helps to, that came right under this Ivy card. So I love that. It just reminds us that we have you know, we do the work first, right? You clean house, you get your energy right, and you get it to where you're clear on what your needs are. And then your connections end up sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
Sweetness. Your connections end up more enjoyable, more balanced. You know, you're getting the connection that you desire and that understanding that you hope for.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, you're providing that for others. So
Mm-hmm.
it's that balance that we want to strike.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got discovering happiness. I allow myself to be content exactly as I am.
Mm-hmm.
The happiness isn't something to achieve, it's there already. And that's where this, inner work comes in, is that you make sure, you're in touch with that, that there's reasons for me to find joy in every moment that I can, every moment. There's also reasons to find discontent and pain, but they're all there and they all exist. So being able to, shore up your inner being so that you can, I don't know, feel confident enough or deserving enough to receive these better energies as well.
I think deserving is key.
That's a big one. Yeah. And then I pulled harmony, and this is your full alignment. Your head, your heart, and your soul are in alignment. Which, remember, we started with this ivy, like, kind of like let me just make, sort of reestablish my connections or deepen my connections or create new ones, right? And then, but then the balancing act that you do within it ends up, there's a lot of harmony in your connections and in your experience. That's it.
Harmonizing into wholeness.
Yes.
Through. Yeah. So invite everyone to pause and close your eyes, take a deep breath. And be with the reading in whatever way the reading is speaking to you. What does harmony mean for you? Perhaps imagine a relationship. It could be with yourself or someone else in your life. You'd like to bring healing to. Just use this moment now to go deeper into bringing healing to that relationship. Holding the intention for healing, for harmony. And just take a moment to also clear anything that might be blocking you from deserving this healing or deserving happiness. Or just deserving. Just offering that energy of friendliness, love, harmony to your whole self. And to whatever relationship you chose to bring healing to. And let's move into the second part of the reading.
Okay, so the next spread starts off with the birch. And this talks about the energy of the birch. They're old and sacred woods, and they're believed to heal emotional wounds and send off negative vibrations. But it's also recognizing our vulnerability, and then the need to build better boundaries, right? So this is what we were talking before, how finding that balance, right, between what we are and what we deserve, and then what it is that's going on outside of in our connections, and how we can sort of smooth over anything that feels either disconnected or imbalanced, making us feel vulnerable, making us feel spent, our energy, giving too much of it away. And this is just a reminder to create the boundary that you need within you. And it's not to shut everybody out, but it's to enter these connections with more of a solid sense of self, a solid sense of, this is right for me. That, this is a great lesson for all of us at any given time, because the more you carry that knowing of what's right for you, without defensiveness, without justification or having to say it over and over, right? You don't have to say, I deserve this if you already know it, right? Then you just live it. You live with that energy, and there's a firmness, but it's also very loving and gentle. So it's not the easiest balance to strike, but it's a good place to start, right? To try to start building that. And then I got gratitude again. And this is just in case we forget how much of our flow can be created just by incorporating gratitude into our daily practice. If you journal, if you pause to meditate and take it in and feel the gratefulness, or however it is, during your like hot bath with a candle lit at night or whatever, however it is, you can reach and remind yourself of all the good that's around you, and the thankful feelings that you have around that just increases the flow and increases the ability to keep these connections flowing too. And then I got the miser. So this is, this is a lot of us energetically, how we want to sort of cling. She's clinging to all her little jewels here. And then there's this wall built up around her, and it goes up to around, like I always like to say, where her heart chakra is. And she doesn't want to let go. She doesn't want to relent. She wants to hold on to all the stuff that feels good, but keep it to herself. And this reminder is to loosen that up, to take a couple levels off of that wall and lead with your heart. No one's going to steal all your richness and all your goodies. We're talking energetically, right? If you're, like we said, if we have those boundaries created, then it's safe to open up and be more giving. I pulled consciousness, and this is again a reminder to have our higher self leading us, right? Not not our baser needs, like whatever the lower, envy or bitterness or resentment or any of that guiding us. We need to raise it up a few notches and lead from a higher perspective. And then I pulled together, back to back, I pulled generosity and receptivity, and that's, giving and receiving. This is what it's all about. This is, if you're overgiving in a relationship, you're going to be living with those, well, you're going to cling to the things you have left. But if you're overgiving, you're going to, you'll end up feeling a little resentful or bitter, or angry in time, because it has to be both. The flow is in the exchange, right, of the giving and the receiving, right? Same with like that friendliness card we pulled from the last spread. If someone's over giving, then those trees are going to be tilted. One's going to be taking up all the other's energy, right? And it's going to, or the entire thing's going to be orange or whatever, you know what I mean? Instead of that solid sense of self that you can move in. But having that solid sense of self makes it easier to give. And then remember to allow others to give as well and receive that energy. That balance comes with a win-win outcome. And look at, and I just said balance, I noticed the scale. This is
I noticed that before.
Yeah. So beautiful, because that's just telling us to strike that balance that's where everyone wins. And then the final card here I got is understanding. And this is really interesting. Yeah, this talks about the barriers that we imagine that are between us and other. Us and our, people in our lives that we had a spat with or something, or us and our inner being, or the collective. So this is just reminding us that barrier, those bars, it's really just imagined, and they dissipate, and they're an illusion. They're an illusion. And there's no reason that there isn't space for everyone to be heard, be received, and be understood. So that's beautiful.
I was thinking about the walls too, the miser card, and that the relationship between generosity and receptivity, and how that is the formula to transmute that miser energy. And that some of us that are super sensitive beings in this world, myself included, we've been wounded, right? Our hearts have been wounded because we're sensitive creatures, and so it sort of opens us up to being wounded. And so it's even more important to be aware of how we may have created walls to protect ourselves from being wounded again, right? But I love what you said earlier about focus on the healing, not the wound. And so many of us stay defensive of our wounds with our walls up so that we don't get hurt again.
Especially if we're sensitive, because those
Yeah.
wounds feel deeper when we're sensitive. They feel more painful.
More painful. Yeah. It's painful to feel things deeply.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's real, right? The pain is real. And yet, right, the healing is real too. And then again, what's real, right? Are the walls real? Are they illusions, right? So it's also powerful, but to really heal that miser within, we do have to really transmute those walls, around the heart that we have created consciously or unconsciously to protect our hearts from being hurt, from being broken, right? And so just to kind of be with that formula, right, of balancing generosity and reciprocity. I just love that so much as a way of transmuting that miser energy, because the more we hold on to what we're afraid will get taken away from us or we'll get hurt in some way, the more walls get created. And then we're experiencing more wounding from that isolation. So it's profound message today, as usual.
I just love how I'll take a reading and I'll think, oh, this might be a little bit like lighthearted, just talking about friendships, talking about our social life. It starts out that way, right? And I think, well, we'll see. Because a lot of times we want to hear readings about the deep stuff and always your interpretation just helps me too, in my understanding of the reading too, because you're really hearing it, you're really receiving it and applying it for yourself, and then finding that way to communicate that out to everyone. I love it.
Yeah. And I also want to highlight, you said interpretation, and it's true. It is interpretive, and we all are interpretive beings. And so for each of us to be with our own interpretations of what's true for us, because we create the interpretation.
Yeah.
And
But
so,
and for you, I love how you can take what I've handed off and go deeper. Your interpretation will always sort of deepen the understanding. So I love that. That's look deeper. That's Maria.
Yeah, look deeper, and let's all look deeper and see what this means for you and your life and where you are in your journey. Because each week we do these readings as soul guidance, because we're all in our journeys. We're all in our journeys. This is a space, blooming grounded dreams. This is the space where we're really supporting and hopefully uplifting in people's journeys. So let's be with that and pause. And I want to encourage everyone to feel into and, just kind of formulate what your intention is for this week to support your growth in whatever way that means for your life and your journey and your dream. Yeah, and just take a moment to really envision your intention, envision it fulfilled, and then offer it up for divine support. And have a beautiful week.